9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Have no fear. Your timeless elite is here. This is your WWT princess signing on to you. Courtney is with you on this special edition of AEW Dynamite, where it's coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. And a little birdie said there is a snowstorm happening. So some of the stars had a little bit delay of flights, but there is still going to be a show. Of course, running through down the card tonight, we have our main event. Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Heavyweight title against, I'm still going to call him Adam Copeland, in a street fight. So that is still to come. We also have double women's matches. We have Mercedes Moné, the CEO, defending the TBS championship against Billie Starkz, and also Megan Bayne, the new girl on the block, is taking on Kris Statlander, where it was a rematch a couple weeks ago, but they're going to meet again one-on-one. And my client, the women's champion, will be on commentary. We're going to see Will Ospreay taking on AR Fox, and also the Fatal 4-Way match. Oh, and speaking of that Fatal 4-Way, you know what that means. I got to put on my shades. And here he is. So just to let you know, my other climate. So it's a Fatal 4-Way International Championship Eliminator match where the winner faces off against Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty. It is my client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, one of the best international champions, taking on Mark Davis, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey in a Fatal 4-Way match. So, I had to put my shades on for my client, Freshly Squeezed. And of course, and it's very hard because I just can't see Kenny losing the belt. But of course, I'm definitely going with my client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. He looks better as ever with his denim and everything else. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Doing his thing in his Canadian tuxedo. Hello, Boza. Yes, I was talking about the snowstorm too. It is snowing and a lot of stars had delays. Hello, Lewis Johnson. Thank you for joining on this watch along. So, we didn't have a show today, but, a lot of stuff has happened because we all had to take care of some priorities today. A lot of us are getting back from traveling. We had to work and take care of a lot of stuff, but have no fear. Your timeless elite is here to give you all the action in this 2-hour watch along for AEW Dynamite as they continue on the road to AEW Dynasty next month in Philadelphia. So get ready, get your butts in your seat because we're going to have one. And what better way to kick it off, as I mentioned, with the International Championship 4-Way Eliminator match. And we see Speedball Mike Bailey coming into the ring. He had a great showing last week. Against the Beast Mortos. I'm looking at Orange. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my client's face. He's just like cool as a cucumber. Just cool as a cucumber as he is. So, but anyway, seeing Speedball Mike Bailey and oh yeah, we got that creep, Don Callis. He's with Mark Davis. So yeah, you're going to hear Mark Davis. You're going to hear Don Callis do some commentary. I thought at least we would have another week without him, but he has to be here too, unfortunately. So he has to be here too. Life happens, but as always, we appreciate when we get anything from this great channel. Yep, folks, like I said, things happen. I thought we were going to do a show, but, a lot of circumstances happen in the way. But I did make sure I was going to do a watch along with all of you. I did send a note to the entire team saying, even if we're not doing a show today, they are more than welcome to hop on my watch along with me because I appreciate everybody, even me, because even though all of us, including me, have to give constructive feedback for AEW, we want them to be better. We want Tony Khan to succeed. We know he has a brain, even though he does a lot of head scratching mistakes, but he has done some very good, solid things with AEW. It's just, hopefully he doesn't have the wrong people around him and in his ear. But anyways, here comes Ricochet. I will say Ricochet really has developed a heel character, which I don't know why he didn't develop this when he was in WWE. Because he has started to develop a little bit as a heel character, which I really do like. And he really is drawing a lot of heat. But here we go. We are in. Oh, yeah, that creep is on commentary. Well, thank God I don't have to listen to him and I have headphones on. But Fatal 4-Way match. International Championship Eliminator match. The winner of this match takes on Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty. And feel free to put it in the chat who you think's going to win. I mean, of course, I'm going to support my client. Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. One of the best international championship. 2-time AEW International Championship. I would love for him to take on a specific belt. Nothing against the international title, but I kind of want him to take on a bigger belt. Don't let his moves fool you. Do not let his moves fool you, because he is one of the best in the ring to do it. And when he's in the ring, he could go psycho. He could really go downright psycho. So don't underestimate my client one bit. Freshly Squeezed. But here we go. We're starting off with, looks like Mark Davis is he's trying to provoke my client in a way. He's trying to provoke him. But here we go. We got the Fatal 4-Way match. This is going to be probably a fun one to watch, and I'm very, very excited. Ooh, taking out Mark Davis out the ring. And what is Ricochet trying to do? Oh, cheap shot. Ricochet to the cheap shot on my client. Shame on you. That's why Mike Bailey is going to give you some kicks. And he's back in the ring. Oh my goodness. He's putting his hand in his pockets. He is the coolest, smoothest, yet dangerous man in AEW. My client, Freshly Squeezed. And Mike Bailey, he has his hands behind his back. He's trying to do those kicks. Ooh, nice drop kick by OC. Oh, Ricochet. Ugh, he took out my client outside the ring. Oh, nice Hurricanrana by Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey is definitely fired up, and I actually do like to see that. Oh, tried a Hurricane on Mark Davis, but that didn't help. Powerbomb outside of the ring. Oh, then he gave another powerbomb to my client. And then Ricochet tried to make a move. Oh, Ricochet! Trying to display heel tactic, and now he provoked Mark Davis. Kick out. by Mark Davis. Mike Bailey trying to give a chop to Mark Davis, but it looks like Mark Davis doesn't feel anything. He's immune to those chops. Oh my God. Is Ricochet doing commentary? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Ricochet, you're supposed to be in the match. Why are you doing commentary? I'm laughing at the fan on when they're doing a zoom in and they were putting the boo sign in back of Ricochet. I know, poor Excalibur. He lost his headset. See, it's one thing listening to Don Callis, but now it's like you got to listen to Ricochet and Don Callis on commentary at the same time. Yeah, that'll make my ears bleed. But here comes Ricochet back in the ring. And he got tossed out of the ring again. Mike Bailey trying to pin, but he caught my client. Oh, nice move. Nice solid move. Ricochet's too scared to get in the ring. I think that's his best strategic smart is getting out of the way of Mark Davis. Ooh, nice counter by OC. Nice move by Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey has some strong legs, I noticed in his matches that he had so far. Tonight, and last week. He's got some very strong legs. Oh, that was a nice move. Ricochet threw away Mike Bailey, and Ricochet's trying to take advantage because he wants to face off against Kenny Omega. But not so fast. I thought he was going to go for the orange wedge, but Orv just like, screw it. I'm just going to pin him. Don't get mad, man. Don't get mad. There's a reason why you are a 2-time international champion, my friend. Ooh, nice punch. Oh, 3 super kicks on the Mark Davis. That's kind of the best way to do it. Having a little bit of unity for now, but it looks like Ricochet is taking a breather from the corner. Mark Davis, he feels like he can't bend or break. But it's going in picture in picture. But the match is still going on. But right now, Mark Davis seems to have the upper hand in everything. But feel free to put in the chat on who you think you got winning this fatal 4-way match. The winner of this match gets to face off against Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty. There's Speedball, Mike Bailey, Ricochet, Mark Davis, and my client, freshly squeezed, one of the best international champions, Orange Cassidy. So feel free to put in the chat on who you think is going to win. But the match is still going on. And it's pretty hilarious how we are on AEW Dynamite, but they're showing a commercial that's includes Logan Paul's show on Max. That is very bizarre and interesting. I don't know. Nice surprise. They are still going on today. All afternoon, there were a ton of backstage clips, basically from talent saying, "We're professional." Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, it was true. Hi, Fernando. Thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. This is your WWT PR princess and your timeless elite, Courtney, here with you on this Wednesday edition for Dynamite as they continue on the road to AEW Dynasty in Philadelphia next month. Oh, sorry. I was looking through on the picture-in-picture, and it looks like, and I feel like this is an ongoing record, MJF is going to be there tonight, too. I'm curious on what he has to say, especially after the offer MVP gave him last week with his business card, because he wants to talk business. You see what I did there? So very curious on what MJF has to say tonight and what's next for him. Of course, he wants his beloved Triple B back, but we shall see what happens there. And yes, Boza, as you mentioned, they're in Omaha, Nebraska, and there was a snowstorm that happened. And especially because it's the final day of winter and tomorrow is the first day of spring. But safety does come first, and just making sure that they had to get there safely. I mean, it was scary. I mean, thought of a lot of the stars are going to show up late, but some of them are taking delays because after they do Dynamite, they also have to record Collision afterwards. So hopefully they do get there very safely and they have straight travels after tonight into tomorrow. So definitely wishing safe travels to all the stars for AEW and appreciate their efforts on we get quality entertainment, but also making sure they are safely there. Making sure they're safely and health comes first. But switching gears, we are back live with this match. If you are joining us, we are kicking off with the Fatal 4-Way International Championship Eliminator match, where the winner gets to face off against Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty next month in Philadelphia. It is freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, my client and one of the best international champions. I'm going to keep on saying it throughout the night, taking on Ricochet, Mark Davis, and Speedball Mike Bailey, who made his debut last week against the Beast Mortos. So this has definitely been a solid match to kick off the show. And it looks like Ricochet and Orange Cassidy are going hand in hand. And it looks like, oh, my client, it looks like he's holding his arm. And hopefully it's not bad because I know he tried to hold on last week. Speedball Mike Bailey. Ooh, nice move. Took out both Mark Davis and Ricochet. And now he's going up against Kenny. I meant, oh God, I have Kenny on the brain. Orange Cassidy. Oh, and kick out by OC. Ooh, nice move. Is Mike Bailey going to do this right here? Is he going to close it off like he did last week against the Beast Mortos? Ooh. Mark Davis came with the save. And there comes Ricochet. Landed on his feet. And Orange is holding that arm. So hopefully it's not nothing too serious. I just hope it's not serious. Kick out by OC. Okay, here we go. Okay, you never count out OC because even though he is starting to feel it in his left arm, he's still hanging in there. Oof. Ricochet taking out Mark Davis. Ooh, that was a sick clothesline. That was really, really sick. Ooh, nice move by Ricochet. Kick out by Mike Bailey. Kick out from him. But that was really close. Ooh, nice DDT by Orange Cassidy. Orange punch onto Mark Davis. Get that little run out of there, Ricochet. 1, 2. Oh, it was 2. It was 2. It was 2. It was 2. I thought it was 3, but it's 2. It's like a kicking fest between Ricochet and Mark Davis. Get a power bomb. Oh. He caught my client. Oh, that was a nasty move. Mike Bailey came for the save. That was not going to happen. Ugh. That was a nasty move. 1, 2. Ooh, Ricochet trying to check Mike Bailey. Ooh, kick to the head. That has to be it because he did the same thing he did to the Beast Mortos, but it looks like he can't carry Mark Davis. Whoa! Who won? Who won? Well, it looks like it was a double pin because we thought Mike Bailey got it, but Ricochet also pinned too, and he got the feet on the rope. So we don't know how this is going to end very well. So the referee, he has to make a decision. Get that creep out of here. So it looks like it's going to be a triple threat match. It's going to be a triple threat match. Kenny Omega taking on Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. Actually, I'm happy nobody pinned my client because I think they want to save Orange because, as I said, my client Orange Cassidy, he's a two-time AEW International Champion, but he needs to get back in the AEW World Title picture. Right now, it's a little bit clustered because, as I mentioned, there's a street fight tonight between Jon Moxley and Adam Copeland. Also, you have Swerve Strickland awaiting the person who's going to be champion and Dynasty. We also got Jay White on the fray, and we're also the man that we've been talking about for months, Darby Allin. We're waiting for him to come back. So it is a little cluttered right now, but hopefully when it clears, I would like to see Orange Cassidy get back in the AEW World Title picture. Nothing against him being international champion, but he needs to get back in there. Yes, Bozo, you heard it right. A triple threat match for the International Championship. Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Ricochet. Wow, that is crazy. Oh my God. That is funny. I wonder how Vita feels right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not mad at it either. I'm not mad at it either. And of course, they're showing the commercial for Dynasty, which is going to be in Philadelphia next month. So I have been poking at Boss Lady to see if I can go because I'm not far from Philadelphia. And it's also the first AEW pay-per-view coming to the city of Brotherly Love, which is super awesome because AEW has hosted Philadelphia for Dynamite, Collision, and the now canceled Rampage. But now it's hosting its first pay-per-view. And we're just really getting started. So this is your WWT PR princess and everything you need to know about all things elite. Courtney is with you on this Wednesday edition of AEW Dynamite, taking you to Omaha, Nebraska, where there was a snowstorm that happened. And thankfully that all majority of the stars got there safely. Of course, after they have to do Dynamite, they got to record Collision as well. So hopefully they do have safe flights back home. So that's all the most important thing. As long as they're safe, they're healthy, and they didn't get into accidents, that's the most important thing. But we still got more action to cover. And it's pretty much almost 8:30. And we're just getting started. So there's a lot of action happening. As I mentioned earlier, we got back-to-back ladies action tonight, which is a rare treat. We have the TBS champion Mercedes Moné defending the championship against Billie Starkz. We also have the up-and-coming Megan Bayne taking on Kris Statlander with my other client, the timeless one. The AEW Women's Champion will be doing commentary. We'll be doing commentary as well. We're also going to have Will Ospreay taking on AR Fox. We're going to hear from MJF after his encounter with MVP last week. And then as I mentioned, the main event, Jon Moxley, Adam Copeland in a street fight for the AEW World Heavyweight title. And I'm going to say this after watching Collision this past weekend. Jon Moxley, you are a dead man for attacking Swerve Strickland because I could have. It's just interesting because after Jon Moxley sneak attacked him with a crowbar, I could imagine what Swerve has something up his sleeves. Maybe if possibly, it's a possibility because we just awaiting. We're just waiting, just awaiting. If anything, it could impact how Ring of Honor and Collision are taped this week because the March Madness Collision is split. Yep, exactly, Boza, because as I mentioned, March is March Madness happening throughout this whole month up until early April. So there's a lot of tournament happening. Of course, we're going to expect some taping delays on Collision on Saturdays on TNT. I mean, I would not be shocked if we had some delays on Dynamite. I would not be shocked, but we shall see. Oh, and speaking of MVP, they're doing a promo of the Hurt Syndicate, your AEW Tag Team Champions. And it's true, they do hurt people, showing the dominance. Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate proving a point. They do hurt people, and I don't know who else is going to step up to the plate with the tag team division because, we haven't seen Private Party. We haven't seen the Guns since they got destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate. Of course, possibly the Outrunners could go round 2. We shall see. But switching gears here to one of 2 women's matches is our CEO Mercedes Moné, the reigning and I will say defending because she does defend the belts, TBS champion Mercedes Moné, and her schedule just keeps getting busier and busier because, of course, last weekend she was at House of Glory where she went one-on-one against Indy Hartwell. So I did hear a lot of good things about Indy. She's going back to the UK next month to defend her Rev Pro Women's Championship. And also, of course, she'll be making a stop in California for New Japan, where she'll be defending her New Japan Strong Women's Championship. But so she's a busy, busy lady. Pound for pound, the best one. Well, Fernando, to be fair, yes, she is one of the best wrestlers. Don't count her out, especially. But you may have the 4 belts, but you never let a belt define who you are as a wrestler. You let the belt speak for itself. Just saying. And she wants to say she's the best women's wrestler in the world. And yeah, you may have 4 belts, but this is the AEW. It could be a possibility because Billie Starkz, if you do not know who she is, she's in Ring of Honor. She was a Ring of Honor television champion. She faced off against Athena at Final Battle, which was a very, very good match. So, very exciting. Mercedes, Fernando, to be fair, because Toni Storm is my client, and yes, she may be coming for her championship, but there is one more speed bump she has to face. Because, well, if you do not know who Billie Starkz is, she was one of the minions to the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena. Now, Billie Starkz has been appearing on the next 2 weeks. And I don't know if it's little Easter eggs that are hatching a little bit, if it's a possibility Athena may be crossing over, because I can't really think of anybody else to challenge Athena for her women's title, because she pretty much challenged almost everybody. And I think maybe she should take a little trip down to AEW and maybe go face to face with Mercedes. I'm just throwing it out there. And also, outside of Athena, you also have Harley Cameron as well. Because Harley Cameron had a very strong showing at Grand Slam Australia. Whether you like her or not, she has a strong showing. And I'm already ready for round 2 between those 2 ladies. So I just want to see trust me, it won't be the last time you see Mini Monet, the puppet. You will not see Mini Monet. And Fernando, if I were you, I would not underestimate Billie one bit because, as I mentioned, I watched her match between Athena at Ring of Honor Final Battle. Solid match between those two ladies. And did I mention they main evented that pay-per-view? So to be fair, yes, Mercedes, you may have the 4 belts. You may be one of the best wrestlers in the world because no one's discrediting your wrestling. But you never let the belts define you. You let the belts speak for itself. Yep, Boza, I believe it. See, that's what happens. And especially if you don't follow Ring of Honor. If you're not too familiar with Ring of Honor, you don't know who Billie Starkz is. But like I said, I did see her match against Athena at Ring of Honor Final Battle, and she did put up a good fight. I thought she was going to beat Athena for that belt, but I was like, oh, I guess that won't happen. But she does have a bright future. And did I mention she's only 20 years old? She's only 20. But I think she is going to give her a run for her money. I think this is going to be a very good, solid match. And also, she's going to have a good showing. Mercedes getting out of Dodge. Ooh, nice dive for Billie Starkz. See, Mercedes, you are the best. Sometimes you underestimate your opponents. Well, except Kris Statlander. Except Kris Statlander, I will say, because I don't think she underestimated Kris Statlander. This is her first match. This is her first match for Billie since she ended her. Yeah, that is true. This is one of the matches for Billie Starkz. And also, as you mentioned, this is her AEW in-ring debut, which is really, really awesome. And she's facing off against one of the women she idolized since she was a little girl, which is very, very special for her. And I love that. I do believe Billie is definitely going to have a very good, strong showing. Oh, and it looks like, I guess that Mercedes is being hurt on the ribs. I don't like to laugh at anybody's injury, but it's just a reaction on the way she got hurt. I don't laugh at anybody getting hurt, but Mercedes trying to counter. Ooh, she's throwing Billie Starkz like a rag doll. And also, even though this is in picture-in-picture, the match is still going on. So just a friendly reminder, AEW Dynamite is airing on TBS, but it's also simulcast on Max as well. She's doing the CEO. CEO. I still can't get over Harley's rap. She was like, CEO, CE, no. I still can't get over. That was very creative what Harley did. I don't care what anybody says. Kick out by Billie Starkz. Mercedes has Billie in a submission hold. Nice drop kick by Mercedes. Kick out by Mercedes. So match is still going on if someone's in picture. And let me see in the chat. Hi, Aaron Teagle. Thank you for joining. Happy Wednesday on this watch along. We're almost at 9 o'clock, which is crazy because I feel like time has gone by so quick. So you're hanging out with WWT's PR Princess and everything you need to know about all things elite. Courtney is with you tonight. Just getting you started because AEW Dynamite is coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. We just had a crazy a fatal 4-way international eliminator match. Crazy. And now we switch gears from international to the TBS championship match with the CEO, Mercedes Mone, taking on Billie Starkz. Oh, nice counter by Mercedes. Oh, that was a nasty one. Mercedes thought that match was over. She really thought that match was over by the look on her face. And what does Mercedes have up on her sleeve? I will say red is a nice, good hair color for her. She's always looked nice in red. Okay. I will say Billie is definitely showing a lot of effort in this match, considering this is her in-ring debut at AEW, and she's only 20 years old. She's definitely having a solid showing. Actually, I know I wanted to say Mercedes to drop the title, but that would be very interesting if she did drop one of the belts on the Dynamite. At this point, I never want anybody to lose, but that would be pretty interesting to see. Oh, nice kick by Mercedes. That was a quick roll up. I thought Billie Starkz got the 3. Ooh, nice drop kick by Billie. Looks like going for the electric chair. Oh man, Mercedes landed on her head. Hold on. Mercedes has her foot on the rope. I thought it was a 3, but no. We're not gonna have the controversy. We're not gonna have the chaos and controversy we had in the first match. We can't afford to have it go for 2 for 2. It looked like Mercedes really landed on her head, and I hope it's not too serious. Oh, Billie Starkz. Ooh. That was a nasty poke she took outside the ring. And you know Mercedes is going to take advantage. But Mercedes kicked out. Submission holds. Yep, that's pretty much it. She what that there was no way. I thought she would at least break submission. But your winner by submission and still TBS champion, the CEO Mercedes Moné. And what I thought she was gonna. Why did she not broke it? Oh, now she broke the submission hold. Now she broke it. Well, she retained. No surprise. She is TBS. Now, before she gets to my client Tony, could this be a possibility of Athena coming? Because I know Billie Starkz is not her minion anymore, but there was a Twitter exchange that happened between Athena and Mercedes. I know the rest of our panel had a discussion last week between Mare and Jacob and Boss Lady on this because, Jacob and Mare think Athena should not come to AEW now and all that stuff, but I don't think I'm going to lose hope on that because I have a slight feeling that she may show up on AEW soil. Don't know when though, but I do have a feeling she's going to show up on soil. But congratulations to Mercedes Moné on retaining the TBS title. And we get to hear from the Outrunners. The Outrunners on one of the basketball teams in Omaha right before they have to right before March Madness, Omaha basketball team. So the Outrunners are giving them a little good luck cheer, but they did have a solid performance at AEW Revolution. I do see them be tag team champions in 2025. I don't know when though, but I know the Hurt Syndicate, they're ready for some action and really want to see how they are with the other tag teams. Of course, we have Lance Archer and Brian Cage. We have Top Flight. We have Action Andretti and Leo Rush. We have a few tag teams that they do have to face. And of course, somewhere down the line, they're going to have to face FTR. And then, of course, you have the Undisputed Kingdom, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly in the mix. So there just has to happen. I don't think it needs to be for gold. I just think maybe it could be one-on-one and possibly a specialty match in a way. I don't think it needs to have gold because it's like, what gold are you going to put it on? And also with the fact with Athena and I really thought the AEW championship was going to be the main event, but it looks like we're going to have that street fight next. I'm very curious what's the main event. Because, let's see, we have MJF appearing. We have Will Ospreay versus AR Fox. And we also have Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander with a client. So, if the championship match... That's what I'm thinking, Bosa! Because I kept thinking to myself, it's not going to be Will Ospreay. What if Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander is the main event? I would not complain myself. I would be okay with that. See, I would be okay. And then on top of that, you have my clients. Because if they're going to be the main event, something has to happen. Because Megan Bayne has been making her mark because she attacked a non-title women's match at the main event. I know, Bo, so that's what I'm saying, because I'm thinking, like, wait, I really thought the AEW title was going to be the main event, but it's not. And I'm thinking, because after this, you have MJF that's going to appear. You have Will Ospreay taking out AR Fox. Actually, I would be okay with that if that was the main event, because if it is, something has to happen. Because Megan Bayne's been on a roll. She's taken out almost half of the ladies in that locker room, because she got Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, Kris Statlander, and even my client, Toni Storm. And also, I did actually get the chance to watch Collision this past week, and especially the promo Thunder Rosa gave, and, showing her, like, Megan Bayne doesn't have respect, and saying Toni Storm, and here's the kicker. She said Toni Storm is our AEW Women's Champion. Our champion. Which I actually love. And I love that they are showing what is the richest prize in the women's division of AEW. Because she said women's champion. Did not mention Mercedes at all, one bit. Which I thought was really interesting. I was like, huh? Interesting. Yes, Bosa, Billie did a great job in her AEW debut. Oh, yeah. I mean, Billie, she has a bright future in her hands. She's 20 years old. She's going to be fine, but I'm still holding hope that Harley's going to be the one to do it. Harley Cameron is going to be the one to do it. But actually going back, I mean, that would be insane if Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander was the main event. I would not complain on it, especially if you saw the rant I had a couple weeks ago regarding how AEW handles their women's division. I was just like, are they listening? Is somebody actually watching WWT live? Is this really interesting? Is somebody watching? I don't know, but it's really crazy. But anyways, it's hard to believe we're almost at the 9 o'clock hour. We're almost at 9 o'clock, and yeah, we got a street fight happening next. Adam Copeland taking on Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight title. And I'm going to say this. Jon Moxley, you are a dead man because of what you did to Swerve this past weekend. I think Swerve is going to have something up his sleeve during that street fight, because you have to remember, no disqualification, no countouts, anything goes. So yeah, some members of the Death Riders can interfere, but be on the lookout for Swerve Strickland. Okay, so they're showing what happened last week with MJF and MVP. Yeah, so they're showing what the interaction they had last week, and MVP gave MJF a card to do some business. Interesting. Interesting enough. Hi, Eddie Foster. Thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. And this is your WWT Princess. Everything you need to know. Oh, and speaking of MJF, there he is. And they never face off against each other, Swerve and MJF. Oh. Well, next week, MJF is going to give his answer. He's going to give his answer regarding the MVP's offer. So, we shall see what happens next week. And feel free. Do you think he is going to join the Hurt Syndicate? And he does have a point because he called him John Moxley a dictator and with his pack of wolves. And he said if he needs to handle his pack of wolves and get his triple B back, he has to align himself. And it would be interesting for him to be with the Hurt Syndicate because, yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well between MVP and Marina Shafir. Because, I mean, Marina, she is a girl, but she doesn't take a lot, but I think it's time for some ladies in our women's division to teach her a lesson. And I do think her and Willow are going to have a match at. Oh, and speaking of this, we have our street fight because John Moxley was coming out, but Adam Copeland chased him from behind. And here we go. I mean, this is a street fight. They're taking it right into one of the trucks for AEW. And here we go. But as I mentioned Boza. Hi, Christy Wilson. Thank you for joining. Actually, I have a feeling Swerve is going to show up during the match. I have a feeling he's going to be eyeing it. And as I mentioned, John Moxley is a dead man for what he did on Collision, hitting him with a crowbar. So, but as I mentioned, Willow and Marina Shafir has to happen at Dynasty. It has to happen at Dynasty. They need to have a match with each other. I mean, she's one of the only few ladies that took a stand. I mean, like almost anybody in that women's division can take on Marina Shafir, but it has to be Willow versus Marina Shafir. But as you're watching, this is your WWT PR Princess and your timeless elite joining with you, Courtney, on this watch along. We are already at 9 o'clock and we're kind of at the final hour of AEW Dynamite. And I really thought this was the main event, but it looks like AEW World Heavyweight Championship Street Fight match. Jon Moxley taking on Adam Copeland. And pretty much whoever is the winner meets at Swerve Strickland at AEW Dynasty. But I think maybe we'll have some clarity on this because, as I said, Swerve has a shot. We also still have Darby Allin that's supposed to be returning soon. MJF, he wants his Triple B. Of course, you got Jay White at the fray. And as I mentioned, I want my client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, to be in that mix because no disrespect to him being the international champion and being in the Fatal 4-Way match, he needs to get back in the AEW World Heavyweight title picture. But yeah, it's just, I mean, come on, it's a street fight. Anything goes. I mean, I'm not the person that wants to go crazy, but I want to see some mayhem. I want to see some carnage. I know there's going to be blood in this match. I don't think, Buzz, I don't think it is at this point. I mean, look, damage has already been done. And that's going to be something they're going to have to clean themselves up for a bit. Damage is already done. I mean, you had a lot of PR feedback for this. So, I mean, the only way you can make it right is do better in your women's division. Like, really do better and get a lot of your ladies into storylines that actually don't involve both championships. And also, no disrespect to Mercedes, like, yeah, you may be the highest paid women on the roster, but is it adding value since you're paying that much money and you're being underutilized? I mean, this is something. Jon Moxley has Adam Copeland in a chokehold. I think Bossman thinks this will. Yeah, I heard from other content. Like you saying the same thing. That Revolution was good, but yeah, exactly. Like the bout was real, and like I said, since 6 years AEW has been created, you've not had a women's match main event at pay-per-view. You had the tag team titles, you had the international championship, you've had the TNT championship main event at pay-per-view, but you have not had a women's match main event at pay-per-view. I'm just saying. Oh, and here comes Jon Moxley with that golf club. It looks like a golf club. And I know that has to hurt. I'm surprised he doesn't want to go forward. My Moxley's taking his time. Adam Copeland throwing. I forgot to ask, can the decision concur everywhere? Buzz, if you're mentioning the street fight, I would say yes. I mean, it's a street fight. Anything goes. It should be pitfalls anywhere, not just in the ring. And plus, there's a referee. If I don't know if you're watching this or how, but there is a referee right there to make the 3 count. So the referee is there. Just let them be physicality. Just let them be physical everywhere. Also, I would not be shocked if that little runt Willie Yuta interfered. I would not be shocked. Oh, they're going through the announcer table. Oh, man. Oh my God, Jon Moxley, he's biting Adam Copeland's face. Ooh. He's just wiping his hands saying, I just got the job done. On his neck. That repaired neck that he had. Well, the match is still going on in picture. So yeah, it looks like some fan. It's like half of the fans are cheering for John, and then the other half are booing. I know they were booing for him very loudly during Revolution. And he has a water bottle, and of course, he's spraying water onto Adam's head. This is really awkward, even if we're on AEW. They're showing a commercial of Logan Paul and his brother's show that's going to be on Max. I'm surprised. You know what? I'm really surprised they didn't get a deal for Netflix, considering WWE has a deal with them. I'm very surprised. Because I thought at least they would get a show on Netflix, but who am I to say? Jon Moxley has that golf club. Or is it a fishing rod? And of course, they brought out a table. And we're back live with this street fight between Jon Moxley, Adam Copeland for the AEW World Heavyweight title. The winner, of course, will be champion, and they will face off against Swerve Strickland at AEW Dynasty next month in Philadelphia. Oh my goodness. And then Jon Moxley's using that chair. What's he doing? Of course, he had to give the finger to all the fans, and some of the fans are cheering. I guess it doesn't matter what if he's ruthless or not. They're still going to root for Moxley anyway. And he's targeting that neck. Got that on the chair. He really wants to end his career. He wants to end it. He's coordinating his mark. Oh boy. Oh, Adam Copeland countered, hit the chair in the face on the Moxley. Scratching his back. Oof. I could tell by the look on Moxley's face. He was not too pleased with it. Not too pleased. Oh, and look, it's Prince Nana in the back. And he's looking on because he's the manager. You know, that would be really interesting because I just realized it. If Jon Moxley retains, if he does retain, and he has to face off against Swerve Strickland, what if the Death Riders hold his manager hostage for some odd reason? Because that's what I'm thinking about too. Because oh, nice clothesline by Adam. I should call him Edge, but he brought out Spike, the equalizer. The last time we saw him was against his street fight with Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. Oh man. I really thought he was going to hit him with Spike. What is John looking for? And he's looking for another table. And Adam Copeland, he has Spike in his hand. He has Spike. Ooh, he hit him on the ribs. That has to hurt. Usually, Moxley's the guy that's supposed to have pain, but ooh, that has to hurt. Hit him on the back. Can I just say Jon Moxley has the best facial reaction when getting hit with the worst pain? Yikes! 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 I know it's not supposed to be funny, but just just looking at that like, oh my God. And as much as reaction to it's just his face. Oh, it's not murder. I hope Renee watch it. Well, Boza, she has to be well, oh my God. And Spike is still attached to his back. Oh my God. It is still attached to his back. Oh, and that, oh yeah, that little runt. I knew that little runt. Oh my God. Oh my God. Usually I'm sensitive to this kind of stuff. Woo. Woo. That was hard to... Oh, okay. Oh my God. You can see part of his skin coming off of that back. I know John has been hit with many, many things, but whew. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm not surprised. But here comes all of it. Well, and also you have to understand Pac, Wheeler, and Claudio are still the reigning... Ooh. Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta are still the reigning AEW Trios champions. So that's another factor in as well. And also, I think it's time for them to get some trios in it. And I would like to see the Ops challenge the Death Riders for the trios belt. But look at John. And here comes Claudio. See, they're trying to do the concerto that Adam gave to all of them a couple weeks ago. I would not be shocked if Jay White... Oh, and here comes FTR. And remember, FTR did pick up a win against Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. So it's nice to see FTR coming out to help their friend Adam Copeland. It's nice to see that. Ooh, pile driver. So FTR took out all three of the men from the Death Riders. But as I said, I do think the Ops should challenge them for the Trios belt because it's been a while since they had challengers for those Trios belts. Ooh, a spear on the table. Yeah. Oh, and here comes Marina Shafir. Not surprisingly, she would come out and after what she did. Oh, and here she comes. I'm sorry. Tony Khan, if you're watching, they need to have a match at Dynasty. Make them have a match at Dynasty. Please. Give them a match. Please. Give them a match. Please. I mean, she says stuff in Marina. Then she has, what's going on? The patriarchy. Oh, I guess for Christian. Yeah, we saw Nick Wayne and Skip Bayless. And I'm pretty sure Christian Cage is close by. Oh, boy. Kick out by Adam Copeland, and then Moxley got him in the submission. Oh, my God. He had to stop. Referee had to ring the bell because of submission. Your winner. And still, AEW World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley. So it'll be Swerve Strickland taking on Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Dynasty. And of course, those guys are trying to get the heck out of here. For someone who is so immune to pain, and look at Prince Nana. He's called up his client. He's looking on the phone, handling business. For someone who has been in many, many, many violent matches and everything else, he was acting like a big baby. I knew that had to hurt, but he's acting like a big baby. You would think with stuff like this, he'd be immune to it by now, Jon Moxley, but but yeah, the Death Riders come out on top with Jon Moxley. Of course, that's a wonderful gesture you gave to the fans. That's just a wonderful gesture. There's Adam's really hurt. He's very, very hurt. He's very hurt. And then on top of that, you had Christian's goons come in. His goons. Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian, while FTR and Willow are in the ring to support him. I'm really surprised Jay White hasn't come out yet. Well, there's Dax. What's Dax thinking? What's he thinking? What is he thinking? You know what's really funny? It's very funny. I was saying this a couple months ago, that FTR may turn heel. And I was saying something was up when the Nuggets were happening after they did lose the first time to Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. We just saw Dax walk out. I want to say yes, but after what we saw with Dax, because he just got up and left, and the thing was, he didn't even shake the hands of the Undisputed Kingdom. Do I sense a heel turn happening? And it's funny, Fernando, because I was saying this a couple months ago, back in November when they lost to, well, I don't know, Bosa, if that was pissed, because if you saw Collision this past weekend, Dax didn't even, it's funny because FTR didn't want to shake hands with the Undisputed Kingdom. And when Roger and Kyle beat them the first time, they didn't want to shake their hands. And I've been saying this and dropping this in the next couple months. The last couple months in between that, they were going to turn heel. Because if you think about it, they lost that opportunity going into that Fatal 4-Way match at Full Gear. They have Boza, you might be right. Up next. Oh, man. Boza. Wow. Oh, man. Are we really going to get a women's match to main event Dynamite? And also my client, the timeless one, on commentary? That's what I'm thinking, because I was dropping little nuggets that I think they're going to turn heel. I don't think, and go back to your point, Boza, I don't think Dex is pissed, because if you saw, as I mentioned, if you saw Collision this past week, they didn't even shake hands. Well, I know. Boza, don't ruin it. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, well, to be fair, yes, Tony, I'm not surprised Tony's at it, but also you have to remember, Megan Bayne did attack her last week, and she did beat up on Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa from this past Saturday on Collision. So it makes a lot of sense. I just don't want it to be because of Tony. Because on paper, they have a loaded roster. Just got to give them storylines to work through. But I'm just saying, is Tony Khan watching? Is somebody sending him stuff on Women's Wrestling Talk? I'm just saying. It's oh my God. And I can't believe we're at 9:30. And you know, it's funny, the current joke would be a women's match would be at 9:30, but it's not. Because at 9:30 it will be Will Ospreay taking on AR Fox. Well, Fernando, to be fair, we have to think about some of the other tag teams as well for the Hurt Syndicate, because with MVP, he wants to do business with MJF. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there, because as I mentioned, FTR is going to turn heel. Actually, you know, with their heel turn, I would not be shocked if they aligned with either the Death Riders or the Hurt Syndicate that could want to dominate the tag team division. Then if you do that, it's like, if the Young Bucks come back, where does it go from there? Oh, and look at that. And then we're going to hear from Bandino, because he's been wanting Chris Jericho's Ring of Honor title since he's been back. So we'll get to hear what Mr. Bandino has to say. Oh, Johnny TV. So it looks like we have a match on Collision for this weekend. It will be a slam dunk this weekend. It'll be Bandino taking on Johnny TV. Yeah, and they're talking about the street fight that happened earlier tonight. That just happened a couple minutes ago. But oh, and before I forget, because we're starting off with Will Ospreay and Era Fox, before I forget anything, we have a special milestone in the women's wrestling world, because today, 25 years ago, March 19, 2000, Trish Stratus made her debut. 25 years, that's very historical. I thought we were going to do a show today to commemorate Trish, but we can save, celebrating Trish on Friday. We can definitely do a little special section honoring Trish for everything that she's done within the wrestling world and the incredible matches that she had and the impact that she made to women everywhere throughout all promotions. So here at WWT Live, we want to send a congratulations to Trish Stratus for 25 years and thank you for everything that you've done. So before I sign off, I definitely want to give a shout out to that. But we will talk about that on WWT Live on Friday. I will make sure that we do honor Trish, because that is something that it's a special milestone. And yeah, Rosa was like, wow, that's right. It was Sunday Night Heat, 25 years of Trish. Trish sat down with WWE Vault's retrospective that premiered today. Yep. Congratulations. Thank you, Trish, for all the memories. We're definitely going to celebrate you on Friday. Definitely going to celebrate you on Friday on WWT Live, because I know not just myself, but everybody from the WWT crew has lots of memories of Trish Stratus when she first debuted. So it's nice that we're going to give her a little bit. I think Friday, we're definitely going to have a lot to say. We're going to have a lot of fun on Friday because, of course, it's going to be interesting. I feel like since we're having a women's main event match, that needs to be set out on Friday. So we have that. We also definitely going to honor Trish Stratus. Also, we're going to talk about the announcement of Clash at Paris, Clash of the France for WWE, because they're doing a European tour this summer in honoring at Clash of Paris. So we're definitely going to be talking a lot about that and just continuing the road to WrestleMania. But here we go. We have Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, taking on AR Fox. It's definitely going to be a good, solid match. Yeah, those I am aware they are doing a house show competing with Forbidden Door, and I'm sure all of us are going to be talking about the news and what's happening, and of course somebody's going to bring it up. Yes, it's nice that we're getting a bonus match, and even Will Ospreay, if you saw him tweet, if you saw him on Instagram, he said, "You know what? Yes, it's a snowstorm, but I'm ready to wrestle." And also, if you did not see last week, he did insert himself into the Owen Hart Men's Cup tournament, where the winner of that match will be getting a title shot at All In. So he wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy heading AEW, and he made a statement on that. So we're going to see him in the tournament. Not sure who else we're going to see in the men's side, but it's definitely going to be a fun atmosphere. Will Ospreay. This is definitely going to be a solid match. Ooh, nice move by Will Ospreay. Well, this match is on picture in picture, but AR Fox is definitely showing some ground. Trying to get the crowd behind him, but these guys are definitely going to show a lot of offense with each other. Nice counter by Will Ospreay. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited that we finally have a female match. Main event of Dynamite, but I'm just waiting for them to have a women's match for pay-per-view. I'm just waiting. Also, I do want to take a reminder that after Dynamite, we're going to stay on the same link for the post show. So once we wrap up Dynamite, we're going to go straight to the post show and just going to do a quick run through on some of the matches. Also, everything else, especially on their road to Dynasty. So feel free to don't miss out on that. But like I said, even though it's in picture, the match is still going on live. AR Fox looks like he has the upper hand against Will Ospreay. And we are back live. Will Ospreay taking on AR Fox. And it really is a bonus match because they are in Omaha, Nebraska. And there was a snowstorm that happened. Earlier in the day. And a lot of the talent, they had their travel delays and getting to the place on time. But a lot of them made it there safely. So after they do Dynamite, they're going to have to record Collision, which is good because at least they can just do a quick run through. And also, as I mentioned, the Saturday is going to be a little bit different because if you are a basketball fan, they are in March Madness right now. So they are going to show Collision not just on Saturday, but also on Sunday too. So it's going to be after one of the NBA men's games, 11 p.m. on the East Coast. So feel free to DVR it if you don't want to stay up late. Make sure to DVR it and record it. But just a friendly reminder there. And, Will Ospreay looked like he was going to end it, but AR Fox countered. Kick out by Will Ospreay. AR Fox thought he was going to get the win. .450 slash, but he missed. Ooh, hidden blade. That has to be it. 3, and that's it. And your winner is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. And he's making his case because, as I mentioned earlier, he's going to be a part of the Owen Hart Men's Cup Tournament. He wants his title shot at All In Texas in July. And I'm going to tell you something, Boston better bring it. If he wants to draw in viewers and get ratings because it's competing against Saturday Night's Main Event, gotta pull out the big guns. And also gonna probably do some things. And then Will Ospreay is the main respect, showing congratulations to AR Fox, but he has a goal in mind. All in Texas. He's looking at it. And they go off the card for Dynasty, because so far we got two matches. Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. We also, in a chaotic international fatal 4-way eliminator match, it'll be Kenny Omega taking on Speedball Mike Bailey and taking on Ricochet for the triple threat match for the international championship. And that is going to be a banger. And of course, they're showing the promo for Dynasty between Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland. So we did see Prince Nana there. Yep, Renee. Oh, and speaking of that, here's Hangman Adam Page. So let's hear what he has to say. So it looks like Hangman Adam Page is going to be joining in the Owen Hart Men's Cup tournament, as I mentioned this weekend. Daniel Garcia will be defending the TNT Championship against Adam Cole. Everyone is banned from ringside. And also this weekend, one of my clients, Max Caster, is going to do his open challenge. Julia Hart, Queen Amanada, round 3. Give me that. And I kind of like it too, that these girls know each other very, very well. And speaking of Julia Hart, I actually had the chance to interview her during the Queen of the Ring red carpet. So content is coming. It is coming. So we have a lot of content to do. I was very excited to interview Julia Hart during the red carpet, and she's just a very sweet and nice person. And I got to meet Queen Amanada too. So they are both very nice. And we got some trios action. We got Konosuke Takeshita and the Murder Machines, Lance Archer, Brian Cage to take on Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, Powerhouse Hobbs. And I forget who the last person is. But there will be a trio championship match of Death Riders taking on Top Flight and AR Fox. We're also going to see Harley Cameron feeling the wrath. And also Johnny TV, as I mentioned earlier, Johnny TV is going to be taking on Bandino. And we're also going to see Commander and Hologram taking on Dralisico and the Beast Mortos. So that's Slam Dunk Sunday. Oh, thank you for that, Boza, because that just like dawned on me just like that. But thank you for that. But next week, we are going to hear from Kenny Omega. Next week, the AEW International Champion, just to get his thoughts on the match that happened tonight, his opponents. So we're going to hear from him. And up next is the main event of a ladies match. Now, I'm going to tell you something, boss man. You can put on all the main events on Dynamite and Collision all you want, but we want to see a women's match main event, a pay-per-view. And I said this during my rant. If it has to be Mercedes and not Toni Storm, I hope Mercedes does have a compelling storyline that doesn't point out the obvious. Because if it's underutilized and it doesn't live up to the level as Mariah May and Toni Storm, where do we go from here? So we definitely have a good stacked card for Collision this weekend. Very excited. And like I said, we're almost at the halfway point. We got one more match to go. One more match to go, and that's the women's match. Megan Bayne taking on Kris Statlander. So, and I'm going to tell you something. They better give them a solid overrun. Because if you can give some of these other matches overruns, I don't see why this one can't. And since we're on commercial, we're going to take a quick one ourselves and promote one of our sponsors, All Caribbean Wrestling. And feel free to check out all the good stuff that's happening with them.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Definitely want to thank our sponsors at All Caribbean Wrestling for everything that they do. I know our boss lady was with them this past weekend. And she was hanging out with Mark Henry, and actually they were doing stuff in Dominican Republic. So they are making a lot of moves, and want to thank them for being one of our sponsors here at Women's Wrestling Talk. So this is your WWT PR princess, and everything you need to know about Elite. The timeless Elite is with you tonight on Dynamite, and coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. I will say this was a really good showing of AEW Dynamite tonight. It was a very good showing. We have a women's match main eventing. So feel free to do that. We're getting ready for it. Oh, and speaking of Mercedes, of course she has to do an interview. Yep, Sweet 16. I'm just saying. Ooh. Ooh, I'm just saying. Isn't it? Boza, did I just say that from earlier? Oh, and speaking of a champion, here is my client. The timeless one. There's a reason. There's a reason she's a 4-time AEW Women's Champion. There's a reason for that, folks. And Boza, wasn't I just talking about this a little bit earlier today? The Easter eggs coming into play with Athena, because when Mercedes said, "Who trained Billie Starkz?" and I was like, you gotta put Athena in there. I'm sorry, but it has to be, because people think Mercedes, because forget about facing my client. She will face my client soon. She will. I'm gonna tell you something. Before Mercedes even thinks about my client, she is gonna have to go through Athena first. But let's see. So Megan Bayne, and look, she has Penelope Ford accompanied her to the ring. And then they're showing what happened this past Saturday on Collision, where she faced off against Thunder Rosa. And after the match, Thunder Rosa did some damage. Then Toni Storm came out because she wanted her revenge on what happened. But she got pile drive, my client, by Megan Bayne. And here comes Kris Statlander. So Megan Bayne, like I said, she took out Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, Kris Statlander, and the women's champion Toni Storm. So there's my client on commentary. I know she's gonna have a lot to say during commentary, but here comes Kris Statlander. So here we go, guys. Main event. And the one thing I will say about this match, I'm happy it does feature a lot of ladies within the division. Of course, we have Kris Statlander and Megan Bayne, but it's nice to see Penelope Ford and also my client, the women's champion. That's why she's a 4-time women's champion. Tony. See, Boza, that's my client. She has a lot of wits. She has a lot of wits and a lot of things to do with. But then you also have to watch out for Penelope Ford at ringside. Oof. Well, Kris Statlander, she's taking a little bit of beating, but she also had to watch out for Penelope Ford. So I love that this main event not only has Kris and Megan, but I love that it includes some of the ladies, because this technically is part of a storyline per se. Because as I mentioned, Megan Bayne took out most of the women in the locker room. So this is all coming into play. And oh, excuse me. During the post show, I'm actually going to give you something of a fantasy booking that I was thinking about, but it's not at Dynasty. It's actually a Double or Nothing. And it actually deals with a particular match that happens during Double or Nothing. So I will tell you that during the post show, but it's nice. Omaha got a great show tonight. They were able to give us everything they promised, including a bonus match. Yeah, I hope Minnesota next week delivers, because Omaha, Nebraska brought it. I will say they brought it. And ooh, Kris Statlander. I just hope they give these ladies like a certain amount of time to really have a match. Because if you can do it for Mercedes with her TBS, then I'm sure you can do it for Kris Statlander and Megan Bayne. Because all the ladies deserve at least an equal amount of airtime like the guys. And we also see her. Well, I know Kris and Willie are not friends anymore, but we did see her friend Willow Nightingale earlier, where she does have her problems with Marina Shafir. Amen, because it was 9:50 when they were sent out. They should get a 15-20 match. Exactly. And as many times as Boss Man does an overrun, you got to give these ladies at least the amount of time. And yes, I know you're trying to make up for Revolution, but You could have as many women's matches main event Dynamite. You could have as many matches main event for Collision. But during the 6 years that you were there, you never gave us a women's match to main event with a legitimate storyline as you did with my client Toni Storm and Mariah May. Now, that is something I would like to see in 2025. I want to see a women's match main event at AEW pay-per-view. Because at this point, I don't care what pay-per-view it is. Just give it a main event. As long as it has a legit storyline that's on the same level as Toni Storm and Mariah May, I'm okay with that. And then Penelope Ford, she's sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. And I know my client, and then she's getting, I hope she's not getting in the face of my client. All right, so it's going picture in picture. It's going picture in picture, but the match is still going live. So, main event match. Kris Statlander, Megan Bayne, along with my client, the women's champion Toni Storm at ringside. And you also have Penelope Ford also at ringside as well. So, pretty sure there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in between. Nice counter by Kris Statlander. Okay, Kris Statlander. And actually, we are back live. And it's 10 o'clock on the dot. We are back live to AEW Dynamite with your main event. And in a rare sense, you have a women's match that doesn't actually even involve a title. You have Kris Statlander taking on Megan Bayne. She has Penelope Ford at ringside. And also my client, the 4-time women's champion, Madam Timeless Toni Storm at ringside. Of course, she has Luther at ringside, but she's looking on because after Megan Bayne made a statement, and I do think that's going to be her next opponent at Dynasty. Megan Bayne taking on Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship match. I feel like this is a slugfest between these two. I will say, Kris Statlander has taken on women that are equally as her size. She took on Jade Cargill. She took on Camille. And now she's taking on Megan Bayne. That is I tell you, Kris Statlander is a woman I would not want to mess with. I would not want to mess with because I know she would beat my ass quickly. And here comes Penelope Ford. There's Aubrey. Aubrey saw it. Look at Aubrey. She's telling her to get out of here. So, see, Penelope, you should have never stuck your nose where it didn't belong. You may be the bad girl, but you were caught red-handed, Missy. Ooh, look at Kris Statlander showing some quickness. Kick out by Megan Bayne. Look at my client. Oh, Tony's looking so frantically. You're the women's champion. You should not be looking frantically. You're the women's champion. And Kris landed. She stood up. Kris Statlander is not human. And neither is Megan. They are both not human. I guess Megan Bayne is looking like she met her match. I thought it was Thunder Rosa, but it looks like she met her match with Statlander. Ooh! Diving headbutt. I don't even care if this match goes on until 10 after. I am enjoying this match. I don't. I would not be shocked if this ended in a tie. Oh man! She dragged Kris Statlander onto my client. Jeez. Yeah, you pushed Kris Statlander on the Tony? I think this match is going to end in no contest. I have a feeling. You think it is? I have a feeling it's going to end in no contest. Either that or a pinfall. Yeah, Kris Statlander was knocked out. Rammed into Tony Storm. But your winner is Megan Bayne. And I have to say this. She pinned a former AEW Women's Champion. She also pinned a former TBS Champion. And I said this a little earlier, it's going to be Tony Storm taking on Megan Bayne for that title at Dynasty. See, My client is a fighting champ. I don't even care if she's in a gown. She will fight you. I just hope it's a specialty match and it's not like a regular match. I just hope it's specialty because I would like to see that happen. Hey. And security's coming out. Let these ladies fight. Let I know she did not push my client to the floor. Who did you think you are? Push it! Yeah. Make it Bayne's next day. Who do you think you are? She's a 4-time AEW Women's Champion, damn it. And she pushed up security. Ooh! You better get her. There you go, folks. Yes, she is. Yes, she. Well, folks, I kind of need to tell Boss Lady I need to go to AEW Dynasty because I get to see my client. I get to see my client. Oh, man. Well, that ends a very eventful episode of Dynamite. And you know what? We're just going to jump right into the Pope. 3 matches for Dynasty. Courtney's client, Megan. What's Megan so bad? She's willing to defend. Hey, man. She's a fighting champ. She wants to go against anybody. She wants to go. Look, my client wants to go against anybody. But anyways, we're just gonna hop on the. We're just gonna hop on the post show right now. So I'm just getting the results right here. So we're just gonna do a quick run through of what happened for AEW Dynamite. Let me see if I can get it. So, AEW Dynamite came to you from Omaha, Nebraska. So, Megan's going to be through. Well, I will talk about that, sir, because talk all the crap you want, but she's a fighting champion. So, anyways, we're just going to get through Dynamite really, really quick on what happened. So, we kicked off with the International Championship Fatal 4-Way Eliminator match. My client versus Sweet George Cassidy taking on Mark Davis, Speedball Mike Billie, and Ricochet. Good solid way to kick off Dynamite, and it was crazy, and it ended in chaotic and controversial fashion because it looked like it was a double pin. So at Dynasty, Kenny Omega will be defending his international championship against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Billie. And he will be there next week. So we'll hear what the new what the new international champion has to say next week in Minnesota. So congratulations to Speedball and Ricochet. And that is going to be a fun triple threat match. So we got back and we saw a little bit of a teaser for the Hurt Syndicate. And, you know, of course, they are the AEW Tag Team Champions and they're willing to defend it against anybody. So they are fighting champs, and we'll talk about later on tonight because MVP and MJF had some business to handle. So we'll talk about that throughout the night. We also had one of two ladies matches, Billie Starkz taking on the TBS champion Mercedes Mone, where she defended it on the line. And I have to say, if you have not seen Billie Starkz in a Ring of Honor match, you were in for a treat. She definitely had a solid showing against her. She gave it all she had, but unfortunately, because of submission to Mercedes Mone, retained. And it's very ironic because I was mentioning this the last couple weeks. Because if you don't know, Billie Starkz was one of Athena's minions. And she was alongside Athena, and they had their match at Ring of Honor Final Battle, which I watched. I watched a whole pay-per-view of Ring of Honor, and they both settled out. And the interesting part about the promo that Mercedes did afterwards, she said who trained her, and said some interesting things. So, dropping little nuggets on teasing Athena versus Mercedes. I mean, I know because we talked about this on the WWT Live, where a few of my colleagues don't think it's going to happen, but I kept really kind of recircling everything, and I was like, before Mercedes even touches my client, before she even gets to Tony, she has to go through Athena first. So be on the lookout for teasing on that. So it's definitely going to be very interesting on that. But to Mercedes Mone winning retaining the TBS championship. As I mentioned, we also got to hear from MJF cutting a promo backstage regarding what happened last week with his encounter with MVP. And he does made it clear that he wants his Triple B back, but he can't do it on his own in regards to, as he called Jon Moxley, a dictator with his cronies around. So he has to have a clique of his own. But the last time he did, it got burned pretty bad. So he will have an answer for MVP next week in regards of doing business with him. So be on the lookout for that. That is going to be something. And a shocking turn of events. I really thought this was going to be the main event, but we got ourselves a street fight. Adam Copeland taking on Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It was a lot of physicality. It was a lot of mayhem. It was a lot of carnage between those two. And I still can't get it over my head that Adam Copeland brought out Spike. If you don't know what Spike is, feel free to check it out because that was very insane. It was very insane, and seeing Spike getting stuck to Jon Moxley's body and his reaction just said it all. And then, of course, you had to deal with the Death Riders and everything else. You had to deal with the Death Riders, but also Prince Nana was looking on during this match. As I mentioned, Swerve Strickland's going to face off the winner on who wins that match. But of course, we saw that little runt, Willa Yuta. We also saw the Trios champion, the Death Riders, and Marina Shafir come out. But Adam Copeland did get some help from FTR and Willow Nightingale. But unfortunately, two members of the patriarchy, Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, came out and stuck their nose where it didn't belong. And your winner by submission and still champion is Jon Moxley. And also, we saw a little bit of a tease because after the match, we thought Cash and Willow and Dax were going to help him. But Dax looks like, and I'm starting to notice this pattern. And I wish there was a clip that I could do this because I said this back like last November after their match against House of Black before House of Black during the qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way match at Full Gear. And I really was kind of hinting this that FTR is going to turn heel. And also noticing the pattern because if you saw the first match that they had with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly in Collision, where they beat them, FTR didn't shake their hands. Even this past Saturday on Collision, they didn't even shake members of the Undisputed Kingdom's hand. So seeing Dax walk out and, I mean, I'm not going to say split up, but I have a feeling they may go heel. And I've been saying this for a while. That it's a possibility they've been going heel. And I'm going to say this too. If you're going to split up my clients, the Acclaim, then you need to split up either FTR or the Young Bucks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're going to split up my clients, the Acclaim, one of them has to be split up. And at this point, I don't care who it is. But we're going to definitely be looking onto that. And Prince Nana, as I mentioned, is going to be watching that match. We also get to hear, and also, we had a bonus match. Will Ospreay taking on AR Fox because, as I mentioned, Omaha, Nebraska got hit with a snowstorm. So a lot of the talent, there was a lot of travel shifting. There was a lot of travel issues happening today on getting to Omaha, Nebraska. But thankfully, all the wrestlers are safe. They are there and they're ready to go. So we definitely had a fun match between Will Ospreay and AR Fox. And as I mentioned last week, Will Ospreay inserted himself in the Owen Hart Men's Cup tournament. He wants a shot at All In Texas. So he wants to be the guy leading AEW. So awesome match between Will Ospreay and AR Fox, but the winner of the match is Will Ospreay. So he's starting his road to All In Texas. We also got to hear from Hangman Adam Page. And he had a lot to say. And he's focusing a lot of time on himself and everything else. And he announced that he himself is going to be entered in the Owen Hart Men's Cup tournament. So we have Will Ospreay. We have Hangman Adam Page entering. So definitely an awesome, awesome time for sure. And then we go to our main event, which is very, I don't know if somebody sent a couple weeks ago, our feelings that we had regarding the main event for Revolution, but we got ladies ending the show. Kris Statlander, Megan Bayne, of course, Penelope Ford was at ringside, and my client, the timeless one, Toni Storm, at ringside. So it was definitely a physical match between these two ladies for sure. Thought Kris Statlander was going to get it, but Penelope Ford stuck her nose in it, and then she got ejected from ringside, and then also not ejected, but she got ejected from ringside, and then Megan Bayne pushed Kris Statlander into Toni Storm, and that was pretty much it. And the winner was Megan Bayne. She pinned a former AEW Women's Champion. She pinned a former TBS champion. So there was a lot of physicality between her and Toni Storm. Fernando, my client is ready. She's taken on many, 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 many challengers even before she was timeless. She took out Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hager, Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo, Serena Deeb, even Mina Shirokana. But Megan is definitely a tough challenger to beat. Because as I mentioned, she beat a former AEW Women's Champion. She pinned a TBS champion. She does earn the right to have an opportunity, but I don't think this should be an ordinary one-on-one match. I feel like there needs to be a stipulation being put in there because there's going to be a lot of physicality. There's going to be a lot of mayhem between those two ladies. And Toni Storm threw the gauntlet. She challenged Megan Bayne to at AEW Dynasty, which is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And I have to reach out to Boss Lady because it's like, now I need to go to Dynasty. I need to go. So definitely something to look over. And also, I was really thinking about this too because I was doing a little bit of fun fantasy booking because I like to do it for fun. And I was kind of jumping ahead, not to Dynasty, but Double or Nothing, because they do their anarchy in the arena match. The guys have doing it the last couple of years. Why not have a female anarchy in the arena match? Because when you think about it, there are some storylines that are coming into play, especially since Megan Bayne came in. She's kind of wiped away she kind of beat up a majority of the women's division. And that would be pretty awesome if they did an anarchy in the arena match. And also depending what's going to happen with the AEW world title picture, because if Swerve wins, then what's going to happen with the Death Riders? Because you need to have a solid, unified group. And there was, but it just wasn't really strong enough for it. So I was kind of thinking on a female anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing. Because in one corner, you have Toni Storm, Kris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Thunder Rosa. And I was thinking about this too, because I put in Jamie Hager earlier, but I'm also going to add Athena into it. And I think that would be a cool introduction for her to kind of weasel in AEW. And then on the other side, you have Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, Mercedes Moné, Marina Shafir, and Mariah May. Just think about that. Like, how crazy would it be to have a female anarchy in the arena? And it's like you have all the storylines coming into play in friction, because you still have Willow versus Marina. And then with the fact, it gives an opportunity to tease Mercedes and Toni because they never cross paths with each other. Same thing with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa and Mercedes have not crossed paths either. So this would be something that would be very cool to watch. And Dylan, please make sure to record this, because I was thinking about this as well. It's like, if they do a women's anarchy in the rematch for 2025, oh, that would be insane. It would be insane. Where is that clip? Hold on. Where's that clip? Hold on. Here it is.
Well, because you lose it, you never win. Oh, boy! That stuff is... Yeah!
I swear to God, if that happens, oh my God. So it needs to be a female anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing, because the storylines are right there. And when you think about it, the Death Riders, well, it's like, if Swerve wins, then what's going to happen there? So I will do that for now. But I know there's going to be a lot to talk about on Friday's show. But for this episode of Dynamite, and I very rarely ever do this, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for Dynamite. It was definitely solid episode all around. It was definitely a solid episode, Dynamite all around. 10 out of 10. You kicked off with the International Fatal 4-Way match. You ended Dynamite with the ladies of the division. And this is something that we all want. We want the women of AEW to succeed. We want them to have more airtime. We want them to be treated the same way the guys are. And I said this during my rant during the after Revolution, when they didn't have Mariah and Toni Storm in the main event. I think it's more than just a Toni thing. I just think it's somebody in that executive office that possibly does not appreciate women's wrestling. Toni, I think he does. It's just, there's just some people in the front office that probably don't have an understanding or how to treat their women's division. So, 2020. So, exactly, Boza. It was definitely awesome seeing a non-title. And I feel like this is something that we want, is creating a lot more storylines that don't involve titles. But I'm going to say this. I don't care. I think they need to do a female anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing. They have to do it because that'll be a great way to introduce Athena. Also, it'll give us a T stare down between Mercedes and Tony, along with her and Thunder Rosa, because Mercedes and Thunder Rosa have not interacted with each other. And also, I just really thought of something because Thunder Rosa made a point saying Tony Storm was our champion. So I'm happy they are bringing a lot of prestige to the AEW Women's Championship. No shade to Mercedes, because I'm really shocked that she didn't bring up Mercedes' name, but I'm really happy they are bringing a lot of prestige back to the AEW Women's World Championship match, and that makes me happy. But they need to do a women's anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing. They just have to. The pieces are there. It just needs to execute. So please send this over to Tony Khan. Please send this over to his front office. We want an anarchy. But I give this episode a 10 out of 10. I can't wait for the next week's episode in Minnesota. But also a friendly reminder, this Saturday on Collision, they will be doing a slam dunk this weekend. So, they're having a slam dunk this weekend because, it's March Madness. So they're going to have a special start time at 11 p.m. on the East Coast. So lots of action happening this weekend. We're going to see Harley Cameron in action. We're also going to see Julia Hart, Queen Aminata round 3. One of my other clients, Platinum Max, doing his open challenge. I feel like I'm the only person that's enjoying this because I feel like I'm enjoying this a lot more than the Death Riders at this point. So we're definitely enjoying that. We're also going to have a few trios actions. We have the trios championship defended on the line. The trios champions, Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta taking on Top Flight and AR Fox. We're also going to have another trios action. Rocky Romero, Mark Briscoe. Oh, crap. I forgot who the third person was. Oh, Powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Briscoe, and Rocky Romero taking on the Murder Machines and Konosuke Takeshita. And we're also going to see Bandino versus Johnny TV as it was announced tonight on Dynamite. So a lot of action happening this weekend. As I mentioned, next week we get to see international champion Kenny Omega back, and curious on what he has to say about his opponents at Dynasty. Also, we're going to hear MJF's answer on whether he's going to say yes or no to MVP's offer. So for this one, I give it a 10 out of 10 for this episode of Dynamite. Just, it's one of those things that's really going to happen. I'm very excited I get to spend it with all of you. You're going to hang out with me and the rest of the WWT crew on Friday. But you can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Feel free to follow me on my social channels at Courtney NJ11. I do have some content that's coming up. Queen of the Ring content is coming soon from the red carpet that we went to earlier tonight. And it was really, really fun. I'm very excited. Lots of content happening regarding Queen of the Ring. I mean, even though the film's on a limited time and it's an independent film, if it's playing in your area, go see Queen of the Ring. It's an amazing movie. So definitely a lot of content happening. Please make sure to follow Bell to Bell and ISPW Wrestling because I'm doing a lot of work with them. I'm very excited to support the independent side of wrestling, and also be on the lookout for a blog post that I have regarding AEW Revolution on hits, misses, what they need to improve, and a few bold prediction matches for AEW Dynasty. So this is your WWT Princess and your Timeless Elite signing off and wishing everybody a safe evening. Thank you for joining and participating in Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.